good to see you. I've set up a few terminals with information I think you'll find interesting. Take a look.
Welcome back, Shadow Broker.
What's this?
That's the old broker's VI assistant. It's actually been helpful with rebuilding the network.
Please let me know if I can organize anything else for you, Shadow Broker.
It also thinks anyone in the room is the broker. I'll play around with the settings later.
My manual is ready whenever you have a moment.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Mass Effect 2. I nearly said Legend of Zelda 4 Swords and Adventures. I've been editing that a lot recently. In the last episode, we concluded the Lair of the Shadow Broker pack, and Liara, in a turn of events which I'm not a massive fan of plot-wise, became the Shadow Broker. I must say, so I didn't really get a chance to talk about this last episode. I really liked that final fight with the Broker. The reveal that he's a fucking freak and stuff like that is really cool. Liara kind of dread Pirate Robertsing him. I don't buy it quite so much. But hey, it's a great thing, all other things considered. It's a great bit of DLC. So what are we going to be doing this episode? We're going to be looking at some of the spoils we get for completing the Shadow Broker DLC. Then we're going to be doing squadmate conversations for the literally entire episode. So if that's not your cup of tea, then this episode may not be one for you. If that is, then good. I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I will barely be in this episode because of that. So, you know, see that as you will. Now, we have a lot of stuff to access here on the broker ship, so I'll start with what's in front of us, which is the dossiers. These I will go through in more detail at some point, but the Shadow Broker has been assembling information on basically everyone in the galaxy, and this is everything he has on most of our allies. Worth a read at some point, but it's kind of additional information, and also, so as I say, this DLC was kind of designed to be done after you complete the main quest, and so there's some potentially spoilery stuff in there, so won't go into that. We have an advanced training terminal, which allows you to, for any character, any of your allies, you can pay element 0 to redistribute any of their squad points, which is quite handy. You have an armor locker for customizing your armor, and a research terminal. These are exactly the same as the terminals on the Normandy. It's just you have them here, in case you needed them here. I actually have some research to do. We can do heavy pistol damage, and I think I've got damage protection to do. These are all stuff I picked up during the long mission of the Shadow Broker. Medbay upgrade I don't care about, because my facial scars have healed. In case anyone was still wondering about that, you will notice I do not have any because I've been a nice person. We then have Liara, who I'll talk to shortly. Delivery pickups. So, at the end of every mission in the game, you can return here and pick up a delivery. This time, an old money laundering recycling centre has sent palladium salvage from old armour and cybernetics. It's basically the broker's old contact. So, we've got 2,500 palladium. Not bad. You get that stuff, I say, for free at the end of basically every mission. Got a shuttle that we can open? Yeah, so it's still possible to get that view. Not quite got the kind of sense of the lightning, but it does give you a sense of the kind of the speed. Actually, it doesn't give you a sense of the speed we're moving. It seems fairly static. Got a model of the Shadow Broker's ship for our cabin. Survey information. If you're low on any elements, you can buy a survey, which will tell you where some of that element can be found. For example, if I buy, for 1,000 credits, Ezo Mining Company, that'll point on my map the location of a planet rich in element 0. I will show that off when we're at the galaxy map. Finally, we have investment opportunities. These are things that you can finance as the broker, well, through Liara as the broker, which may pay off for you and they may not. So, for example, warning signal. A pirate fleet is massing on the fringe of the Terminus systems in preparation for a raid on outlying Alliance colonies. Send a tip-off to Admiral Hackett about the upcoming invasion. And it has a cost at the bottom, so you can kind of weigh them up, but the reality of it is, if you just research all of them, well, kind of do all of them, your odds of success are you will make back more money than you put in, so just there's no real harm in sinking all your money into it. With that done, the final thing we can do post-Shadow Broker is have a chat with Liara.
How are you doing, Liara?
I'm a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. The Shadow Broker had more resources than you can imagine. Here, come on over. He had top-level access to the Turian and Asari governments. And more than one Solarian Dalatros traded intel. And now it's ours.
You're not gonna turn into a recluse with creepy information on everyone in the galaxy, are you?
I can understand the temptation. I've got all the secrets of the galaxy at my fingertips. Give me 10 minutes and I could start a war. But I've got a purpose. Helping you stop the Reapers. That will keep me honest. You know, relatively speaking.
Have you found anything useful yet?
The Shadow Broker knew about the Reapers. Perhaps that's why he offered to help prove Saren's guilt to the Council.
He didn't want Saren to succeed.
He also knew that the Collectors were Protheans, repurposed to be Harbinger's puppets. There's even some data on the Protheans. I think he knew what was coming and was looking for a way to survive.
Why was he still looking at Protheans? They gave us the warning in the conduit at Ilos, but we've used those.
The Shadow Broker seemed to think there was more out there. Perhaps the Protheans had other plans. Or maybe he was just grasping at anything that offered some hope.
How'd you know what the Shadow Broker was?
I didn't. I had no idea what to expect when we finally found him. But I researched pre-spaceflight cultures during some of my Prothean studies. I know a bit about the Yogg. There's more on the terminals if you want to look. They're a fascinating culture, and a terrifying one.
How's Farron doing?
As well as you'd expect, after 2 years of intermittent torture.
He gonna be okay?
I don't know. He wants to work, so I'm letting him help. Maybe it takes his mind off it.
You know, I didn't come down here just to talk about data.
I know. We have some unfinished business. But just because we were together before, I miss you. But it's been 2 years. I don't want to put pressure on you.
Okay. Let's give it some time then. For now, what if you came back to the Normandy for a drink?
I'd like that.
Good. Get your things and come on out.
Okay, thanks. I'll be right there. Just give me a minute.
Did you enjoy the tour?
Yes, it's a beautiful ship. And I ran into Joker. He seemed happy to see me. Although he did ask if you and I would be acting out scenes from some vid called Vanya.
Of course he did.
I also spoke with Dr. Chakwas. I'm glad she's doing well. I brought you something. It took some digging, but I recovered your tags.
Seems like forever since I was an Alliance soldier. First I get tapped for the Spectres, now Cerberus.
You succeed against odds most people wouldn't even take on. It's no wonder everyone wants you on their side. But I know it wears on you. So how are you doing, Shepard? I mean, really. Not what you tell your squad to keep morale up.
Between you and me, I have no idea how we're gonna do this. I'm doing everything I can, but
You've done more than most. There wouldn't be a man, woman, or child left on Horizon, if not for you.
I saved some of them. Not enough. And the Collectors will keep hitting colonies until I stop them.
So you'll stop them.
And here I thought it'd be difficult.
You'll get the job done. You always do. I just don't know what comes next. So tell me what you want. What are you fighting for?
I guess I'm fighting for us. All of us.
That's a lot of responsibility.
People are messy, awkward, sometimes selfish or cruel. But they're trying, and I'm gonna make sure they have a chance.
I hope the galaxy proves itself worthy of the effort you're putting into saving it. I should get back to my base, but thanks for inviting me up, Shepard.
Come back soon.
So yeah, I think all things considered, that's a quite nice way to leave off things with Liara for now, in that, while it hasn't obviously been that long for us, in terms of game time, it has been 2 years, and kind of Shepard and Liara, when it first happened, was a bit of a kind of spur-of-the-moment thing, so it makes sense that you wouldn't kind of want to just leap straight back into whatever that even was. You give it time and you see what happens. And I quite like those conversations you can have with Liara on the Normandy. They can go into some quite interesting stuff about Shepard, actually, which is a very rare thing in this game. Anyway, we've got a few messages to deal with. We got, wow, that one from the Shadow Broker was starting the Shadow Broker mission. We have an update on Jacob's loyalty mission. I am Leslie. I was on Aya. The food made me sick. The doctors are helping me now. One doctor knows Jacob. He says he can tell you this. He could write this for me, but I want to do it. I need to use my words. My words are coming back. I can talk well. Reading is hard, but I am getting better. I have to get better. Taylor wanted me like this. He wanted my words gone. I have to show him that he is lost. I am not weak. He did things to me, and he can't now. He can't take away my words. He can't make me not me anymore, because you and Jacob stopped him. Thank you, Leslie. That's quite a good conclusion to that one, because not only does it kind of suggest that the neural decay isn't permanent, that it is kind of reversible, but it kind of, seeing one of the kind of basically the women that Jacob's father abused, like starting to get back on her feet and kind of be strong, is a really nice conclusion to that mission, I think. We also have an update on Tally's loyalty mission from Admiral Daro Zen Vasmora. So she was the other admiral, the one who wanted to use AI to reconquer the galaxy, or whatever she was saying. Shepard Vas Normandy. I've been digging through the Alarai. Just wanted you to know that I did find a few things from the experiment Rael Zora was conducting. Had you shared them with me, humanity might have reaped the benefits. Instead, once my own experiments are complete, you and your people will watch from a distance as the Quarian people reclaim not just their homeworld, but the largest synthetic army in the galaxy. Rael Zora's death will not have been in vain. I will complete what he started. Cordially, Admiral Zen. Ugh, I still don't like her. Yeah, basically, if you don't reveal what Tally's father was up to the board, they find out anyway, and depending on how you handled it, that can then actually kind of play out somewhat badly for you. But hey, that wasn't so bad, all things considered. Well, not great, but hey, there's no real great way to conclude everything in this game, which is kind of the point of it. Anyway, squadmate conversations. We'll start with Morden.
Shepard, how can I help?
Have you got a minute to talk?
Yes, good timing, in fact. Excellent. Made breakthrough. Can share results while next samples grow. Hate waiting for culture analysis. Never fast enough. Usually no result in advance. Just checking work. Have to be careful. Getting off track. Discovery. Based on Prothean collector connection, can examine technology, chart Reaper species modification, fall of Protheans.
Tell me what happened.
Early stages similar to indoctrination. Can guess captured Protheans lost intelligence over several cloned generations. Cybernetic augmentation widespread afterward. As Protheans failed, Reapers added tech to compensate. Mental capacity almost gone, replaced by overworked sensory input transfers. Transmitting data to masters.
Is there anything we can do to help them?
No. No glands replaced by tech. No digestive system replaced by tech. No soul replaced by tech. Whatever they were, gone forever. Understand now? No art, no culture, closer to husks than slaves. Tools for Reapers. Protheans dead. Collectors just final insult. Must be destroyed.
I didn't think you needed any more motivation than you already had to stop the Collectors.
Enjoyed challenge. Saw necessity of attack on Collectors after Plague on Omega. Their work, my people. Hard to care about two armies. One wins, one loses. Always work to do after. Now, have more context. See what Collectors are. Wasn't looking for other work before. Don't mean to imply that. Just committed now. Won't let you down.
What is it about the Collector's modifications that bothers you so much?
Disrupts socio-technological balance. All scientific advancement due to intelligence overcoming, compensating for limitations. Can't carry a load, so invent wheel. Can't catch food, so invent spear. Limitations. No limitations, no advancement. No advancement, culture stagnates. Works other way, too. Advancement before culture is ready. Disastrous. Saw it with Krogan. Uplifted by Solarians. Disastrous. Our fault.
You blame the Solarians for what the Krogan did?
Yes, like giving nuclear weapons to cavemen. Krogan unprepared for spaceflight, technological advance. Krogan could have evolved alone, worked out aggression, been ready to use new tech responsibly. Instead, Solarians came, disrupted Krogan culture, used Krogan as blunt instrument against Rachni. Short-sighted. Foolish.
You said the collectors had no art. I had no idea you cared about that kind of thing.
Personal interest negligible. Sang a little. Multi-species productions for cultural exploration. Gilbert and Sullivan always had me do the patter songs. But not about me. Cultural artistic expression reflects philosophical evolution, interest in growth, perspective, observation, interpretation. Suspect you won't see any art in collector base. Culturally dead. Tools for reapers. Worse than the Geth.
I'm sorry, I know that was important, but you perform Gilbert and Sullivan?
I am the very model of a scientist Solarian. I've studied species Turian, Asari, and Batarian. I'm quite good at genetics as a subset of biology because I am an expert, which I know is a tautology. My xenoscience studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model of a scientist Solarian.
Thanks for sharing what you've learned, Morden.
Proud to be here, Shepard. Thank you for including me.
Wow, two great things about that. Number one is one of the best moments in the game when Morden sings Gilbert and Sullivan, which is fantastic. With his own lyrics as well about him being a... Oh, I love it. But also, his insights there are really interesting about how cultural and technological development have to go hand in hand, and if that balance is disrupted, it fucks with stuff. It's a really interesting insights. That without... when you're kind of being uplifted in a way, culture stagnates and can't progress and stuff like that. I'm not sure I 100% agree, but I think it is a really interesting viewpoint on it. Anyway, next we'll go and have a chat with Grunt.
Shepard.
Just checking in. How are you doing?
The hold is too open. Not enough cover. Armor is limited. Warlord Grant would target here to scatter heavy cargo, then focus on engines. That's what tank imprints show about human ships anyway. It's how I learned from the tank. Old pictures where memory is. Like holding a book for a child. Just remember this, picture after picture. No help with finding a reason to care.
What other human info's floating around in there?
Less than a finger deep to sever your spine. You're soft. Solarians, Asari, all soft. Quarians, not so much. Turians, you have to work the blade, I guess. Don't see much point to it, though. Much point. Never mind.
What did Okeer want you to feel about this stuff?
Hate. But the pictures, the aliens in them, they don't do anything. I see blood, craters, but so what? My guts were grown from 1,000 more worthy. The dead were weak. If they were strong, I wouldn't be needed. I don't know why Okeer started teaching. When he turned on the tank the first time, I screamed. Weak, pitiful.
So you started small, but you became what you are. Not everyone gets that chance.
I'm built for strength, but didn't earn it. I just am. Those dead were strong enough to try, even if they lost. The perfect Krogan, ignoring what made me. No strength in that. I'll take another look at what happened to the Krogan. Find a reason to care about it.
That's interesting, seeing that kind of Grunt is developing motivation, but also kind of feeling like he still needs to prove himself. I mean, he kind of did, I guess, with the... by defeating the Thresher Maw during his initiation into Clan Erdnot, but I guess he's still looking for a way of kind of deserving the place that he kind of currently holds. Next, we move on to Jack.
Hey. Tell me something I don't know about you.
Nothing to tell. Why?
I want to know more, and I'm not going away.
I'm here to fight for you. Nothing says we have to be friends, but whatever. Something you don't know, huh? Obvious stuff, like what's up with my ink, or something else just as boring? You're not really interested unless it affects you. I've been through all this shit before.
I could be genuine. You have no way of knowing.
I have eyes, and I have history. You'll back off. As soon as you realize you're not the first, and I'm immune to your help.
I'll bite. What's with the tattoos?
Some are for prisons I've been in. Some are for kills. You know, Good ones. Some are for things I've lost. Those aren't your business. They're nobody's business. And some are because, hey, why the fuck not?
You work pretty hard at not letting people get close.
I've been with lots of people. If you're asking about a boyfriend or a girlfriend, no. It's a waste of time and it never works. You let someone get that close, it just means they need a shorter knife. Lonely and alive works just fine, thanks.
Seems like you miss it a little more than you want to admit.
Pick every little word apart if you want, but it doesn't change the way the galaxy works. Come on, you've been around.
You're tough, but you can't have survived alone all these years.
When I was starting out, I ran with this girl Minara and her boyfriend. They knew their way around. I thought they'd help me. Right. They helped me into their bed. And when we finally did take down something big, they helped themselves to my share of the take. I knew where it was heading, and I got them first. Never bothered with friends after that.
They sound like selfish pricks. That doesn't mean they were gonna kill you.
I get feelings. I don't need proof. I did the smart thing. I always do the smart thing if people fuck with me. That's probably something you should remember.
I have to go, but we should do this again.
Wait. My turn with the questions. People usually walk by now. Why are you really asking all these things? What's your game, Shepard?
I've never met anyone like you.
Whatever. It'll come back to what you can take. It always does. Later, Shepard.
As ever, a kind of interesting insight into both like scattered bits of Jack's backstory and also just her perspective on survival and stuff like that. Always worth a chat. Next, right, I swear we're nearly done. Well, no, we're not. We've still got 4 more to go. So next I'll be talking to. One person I will not be talking to is Jacob. You have to wait at least 2 missions after doing someone's loyalty mission before they'll start talking to you. If I would talk to Jacob at the moment, he'd just be like, go away. I need to sort out stuff in my head. Thus, until now, we couldn't have talked to Tali about her loyalty mission, but now we can.
Keela, I'm sorry I dragged you into Quarian politics. All that infighting, seeing what my father did. You were the only one there for me, Shepard. The only cover I had against that storm. Thank you.
I imagine they're trying to fill your father's spot on the Admiralty Board. What will that do to the balance of power?
I have no idea. Being exiled might have made it easier. A few people are suggesting me as a candidate. Replacing an admiral takes time, though. You may not have noticed, but Quarians like to debate.
Are Quarian politics always like that?
No. Sometimes it can actually get unpleasant. We're a very social people, Shepard. We have to be, to make up for being stuck in these suits. And part of that means getting involved in each other's business.
The whole trial was insulting. You should have had time to mourn your father.
I don't think life is about what you deserve. But my father would be honored that I chose to mourn him by blowing up a lot of gas. I should get back to work. But thanks for checking on me.
So, when I said we have 4 more, I lied. We have 3 more. And the next 2 are both we're actually going to acquire some loyalty missions, which we may work over the next few episodes. So, we're going to start with Garrus.
Shepard, I'm glad you came by. I've got something. I may need your help. You remember Sidonis, the one who betrayed my team? I found a lead on him. There's a specialist on the Citadel, named Fade. He's an expert at helping people disappear. Sidonis was seen with him.
What are you planning to do when you find him?
You humans have a saying, an eye for an eye, a life for a life. He owes me 10 lives, and I plan to collect.
You sure that's how you want to play it?
I'm sure. I don't need you to agree with me, but I'd like your help.
Where do we find Fade?
I've arranged a meeting. We'll meet him in a warehouse near the Neon Markets down on Zakera Ward. Thanks, Shepard. I appreciate you taking the time to help me.
So, we didn't really get much of a refresh on what the recap on what the deal with Sidonis is, but he was basically one of Garrus's team on Omega who sold out the rest of the team and led to their deaths. So obviously Garrus is a little bit annoyed against him. So that starts Garrus an eye for an eye, and then similarly we have Thane Krios.
Shepard.
Is there something wrong?
Yes. Now that you are here, though, It seems more difficult to talk about.
Are you feeling sick? I could get the doctor.
No. Though I suppose that is a part of it. My mortality has me dwelling on things. I had a family once. I still have a son. His name is Kolyat. I haven't seen him for a very long time.
Did something happen to them?
I abandoned them. Oh, not all at once. Nothing dramatic, no sneaking out in the middle of the night, no final argument or slammed door. I just did my job. I hunted and killed across the galaxy. Away on business, my wife would tell people. I was always away on business.
How long's it been since you talked?
10 years. He showed me some of his schoolwork and asked if we could dance crazy. We did that when he was younger.
What sort of dance is that?
I checked my extranet contacts. I expect an update on my next target. The console plays music, old, unfashionable. Kolyat jumps into the room. Father runs around in circles. I scoop him up, toss him into the air. He shrieks, laughs, spin me. The console beeps. I put him down. Click the message. Father, he pleads. Tugs my sleeve. I need to read this, I say. I don't look at him.
You never mentioned this before. Why now?
When my wife departed from her body, I attended to that issue. I left Kolyat in the care of his aunts and uncles. I have not seen him or talked to him since.
If we're talking about this, he must have contacted you.
No, he didn't. But my condition... I've been judging my life, measuring what I've added and what I've taken away. I used my contacts to trace Kolyat. He has become disconnected. He does what his body wills.
You'll have to explain that one to me.
Disconnected. The body is not our true self, the soul is. Body and soul work as one in a whole person. When the soul is weakened by despair or fear, when the body is ill or injured, the individual is disconnected, no longer whole.
What's wrong with him? Is he hurt?
Something happened that should not have. He knows where I've been, what I've done. I don't know his reasons, but he has gone to the Citadel. He's taken a job as a hitman. I would like your help to stop him. This is not a path he should walk.
Thane, I don't have your contacts and I don't have your tracking skills. Why do you need my help for this?
I don't need your help. I want it. The last time I saw my son, they wrapped your body in sea vines, weighted it with stones. He tries to pull from me, calls for her. The hammer lift her off the platform. They sing like bells. The fire has gone to be kindled anew. He begs them not to take her away. They let her body slide into the water. He hits me. Don't let them. Stop them. Why weren't you? Rains. It always rains on Kaji. Warm water pours down his face.
I didn't mean to make you relive that.
Perfect memory. It is sometimes a burden.
What made him go to the Citadel?
Years ago, I prepared a package for him. A relic of my ill-spent life. I had Volus bankers store it and arranged for delivery when I died. He acquired it early. I don't really know how. I did wet work on the Citadel around the time his mother died. That may be why he went there.
You don't hire a raw rookie for a contract killing.
I'm afraid someone may have seen we share a name and assumed we share skills. I don't know why he would accept the task.
Maybe he name-dropped you to get hired.
It's possible, but I don't think so. It doesn't seem right. My name. He should not respect it.
To be closer to you, maybe?
That thought haunts me more than any other.
I'll get us to the Citadel as soon as possible.
Thank you, Shepard. I'll be meditating until you need me.
So, with that, we also acquire Thane's loyalty mission, Sins of the Father, and you'll notice both take place on the Citadel, so can you guess where we're going next episodes? But one of the things we see there that we've not really... Even there, they don't really explain it that well, is the Drell memory. So they have a... what's the fancy word? Eidetic memory, I think? For basically, a scientific word for a perfect memory. As such, recalling memories is basically like kind of throwing them back into the moment, hence why they kind of experience and relive the events there, and it does that kind of quite interesting visual effect on it. It's quite a cool concept. But that's us at like 32 minutes, so should probably hold it there. Weird, it's a really long episode and I've said nothing during it really other than just going between things. But there we have it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll join me next time for... We'll start with Garrus's loyalty mission, so hope you'll join me next time for Garrus. An eye for an eye. Good day.